Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel where we unlock the stories behind rare coins that most people overlook but passionate collectors recognize as true treasures. Today, we're going to talk about one such treasure, the Australia Elizabeth II 2-cent coin from the year 1966, without any mint mark. A coin that may seem small and simple, but carries with it a powerful combination of history, significance, and increasing collector demand. The year 1966 was a monumental one for Australia. It marked the country's official transition from the imperial currency system to the decimal system. Gone were the pounds, shillings, and pence. In their place came dollars and cents. And leading that revolution were the first decimal coins ever minted in Australia, including the very first 2-cent coin featuring the image of Queen Elizabeth II. This coin was more than just currency. It was a symbol of progress, modernization, and a bold step into a new era. Australia was rebranding its national identity through this change, and every citizen held a piece of that transformation in their hands. The 1966 2-cent coin wasn't just for spending, it was part of history in motion. The obverse side of the coin carries the dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right. This design was created by Arnold Machin, whose work would later appear on British stamps and countless coins across the Commonwealth. The reverse features the iconic frilled neck lizard, an Australian native species that captured the spirit of the nation's wild and unique ecosystem. Crafted in bronze, this coin has a warm reddish-brown tone that makes it stand out even today. It was struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, and notably, the 1966 version bears no mint mark, a characteristic that collectors find particularly appealing. Clean, simple, and true to its era, this coin is pure Australian numismatic art. But what makes this coin valuable? First, it's a first-year issue. Coins from the initial year of a major change like decimalization are always in higher demand. Collectors know that the first of anything holds a special place in history. The 1966 2-cent coin is no exception. It was the foundation of a new monetary system, and that alone gives it lasting importance. Second, its condition matters enormously. While millions were minted, very few remain in pristine condition. Time, circulation, and wear have taken their toll. That's why a 1966 2-cent coin in mint state, especially one graded highly by a professional service, can command excellent prices at auctions or through private sales. There have been examples of this coin, particularly in uncirculated condition, selling for impressive figures. Collectors have paid up to $2,000 to $3,000 and in some rare cases, even more, especially when included in special sets or if the coin has unique visual qualities like extra shine or striking errors. It's not just about what the coin is worth today, though. The value of the 1966 2-cent coin is projected to grow as fewer high-grade examples survive. With each passing year, more coins are lost, damaged, or improperly stored. This increases scarcity and, therefore, value. For collectors investing in the long term, this coin represents both history and future potential. The 2-cent coin was eventually withdrawn from circulation in the early 1990s, adding another layer to its rarity. Many Australians remember using it, but new generations have never seen it in their everyday lives. That nostalgia factor also drives collector interest. Holding one of these coins takes you back to a different Australia, an Australia of milk bars, rotary phones, and big dreams. And let's not forget the rising global fascination with Commonwealth coinage. Collectors in Canada, the UK, New Zealand, and beyond are eager to complete sets that feature Queen Elizabeth II from all corners of her reign. The 1966 Australian 2-cent coin fits perfectly into these international collections, adding even more demand on the global market. The frilled neck lizard on the reverse also holds cultural and visual appeal. It's a bold design, unique to Australia, and unlike any creature featured on other world coins. That kind of distinctiveness attracts both coin collectors and wildlife enthusiasts alike. In the world of thematic collecting, that alone adds value. So if you have a 1966 2-cent coin, especially one that's been tucked away in great condition, you're holding a treasure. It's a coin that tells a story, reflects a major national transition, and continues to grow in significance as time passes. It is far from ordinary. We always say that the smallest coins can often hold the biggest stories. This 1966 bronze beauty is living proof. It's a coin that witnessed change, represented national pride, and now rests in the hands of collectors who understand its true worth. If you're a new collector, this coin is a perfect starting point. And if you're a seasoned enthusiast, it's a necessary addition to complete any serious Australian decimal collection. Either way, it's more than just a 2-cent piece, it's a piece of a nation's journey. Next up, the Australia Elizabeth II 2-cent coin from the year 1976, with no mint mark, a coin that's much more than just a piece of copper. It's a piece of Australian history. The 1976 2-cent coin might look small and simple, but within its design lies the identity of a country and a coinage system that was still relatively new and evolving. Introduced a decade earlier during the Great Decimal Transition of 1966, the 2-cent coin quickly became a familiar presence in every Australian's pocket. By 1976, it had become a symbol of day-to-day life, a copper companion to every transaction, big or small. This coin features the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse side, sculpted by the talented Arnold McKinn. Her Majesty is presented in a dignified and timeless manner, facing right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This portrait was iconic for its calm authority and regal beauty, and it was used on coins throughout the Commonwealth, making it highly collectible in its own right. The reverse side of the coin is what makes it especially loved by collectors. The famous frilled neck lizard, a creature native to Australia, is artistically rendered in full display. Its distinctive frill and defensive stance make it a perfect symbol of Australia's wild and unique character. Designed by Stuart Devlin, this creature became one of the most memorable images in Australian numismatics, giving the 2-cent coin a charm that went far beyond its face value. By 1976, the 2-cent coin had already been in circulation for a decade. Yet that year was unique. The mintage numbers were high, but many of these coins quickly became worn out through circulation. As a result, finding a 1976 2-cent coin in brilliant, uncirculated condition is much more difficult than it might first seem. It's this contrast between large production numbers and the scarcity of well-preserved pieces that sets the stage for rising value. You may be asking, how valuable is this coin today? And can it become even more valuable in the future? The answer is a resounding yes. While circulated examples may trade hands for modest amounts, high-grade uncirculated coins and those kept in perfect condition from mint sets have already sold for up to $8,000 to $15,000, depending on the coin's luster, color, and strike quality. And that's only the beginning. As time moves forward, coins like the 1976 2-cent are only becoming rarer. Since the coin was officially withdrawn from circulation in the early 1990s, no more have been minted, and they are no longer found in everyday change. That limited supply ensures that their value can only go up. Collectors and investors alike recognize this and are increasingly seeking out early-year coins like this one to complete their decimal-era collections. The 1976 version, without a mint mark, was struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. The absence of a mint mark is standard, yet it gives the coin a clean, original appearance that collectors appreciate. It speaks to the uniform production of the time, a moment in history when the mint was focused on quality and consistency during a busy decade of change. But here's where it gets more exciting. As demand increases for vintage Australian coins, particularly those with historical or wildlife-themed designs, the 1976 2-cent coin is seeing a resurgence in popularity. Online auction sites, numismatic shows, and collector forums all show growing interest in these coins, especially when preserved in stunning condition. There are buyers across Australia, and even internationally, who are seeking out specific years like 1976 to complete full-date runs of the 2-cent coin series. That alone increases demand, and where there is demand, value always follows. For a coin collector, this is not just about ownership, it's about having something that others want, something that represents national pride and natural heritage. Even younger collectors are beginning to turn their attention to coins like this. Many are building collections that begin with decimal-era coins, and they recognize the 1976 2-cent as an essential piece. It's beautiful, historic, and growing in rarity, the perfect combination for future value appreciation. As more collectors enter the scene, competition increases, and the market value climbs higher. Now is the time to pay attention to this coin. Its quiet value is starting to speak loudly among coin experts, and its appeal is no longer limited to just Australian enthusiasts. With Queen Elizabeth II's image now frozen in history and these coins no longer produced, their cultural and monetary value is solidifying more every year. If you happen to have a 1976 2-cent coin in your possession, especially one in uncirculated or proof condition, you may be holding on to a miniature treasure. Keep it safe, protect it from damage, and consider having it graded if it appears to be in exceptional shape. That could increase its marketability and value even further. And if you don't own one yet, now is the perfect time to start looking. Prices are still within reach, but they won't stay this way forever. As more collectors discover the importance of this coin, competition will grow, and those who act early will be the ones who benefit most. Next up, the Australia Elizabeth II 2-cent coin from the year 1983, with no mint mark. This coin, though small in size, holds a powerful presence in the world of collectors. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned expert, this is one coin you'll want to know everything about. The 1983 2-cent coin sits at the heart of Australia's rich decimal currency era. Though it may seem like just another copper coin, it actually carries a legacy that reaches back to the early days of modern Australia. By 1983, the 2-cent coin had already been in circulation for nearly 2 decades. However, that year turned out to be a turning point in the coin's journey, and that's exactly what makes it special today. This coin proudly features the regal profile of Queen Elizabeth II on its obverse side, designed by Arnold Machin. The Queen is depicted wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, facing right, in an elegant and composed expression. This image became one of the most familiar royal portraits across Commonwealth coinage, symbolizing the strength and stability of her reign. On the reverse side, we find the famous frilled neck lizard, a creature that perfectly captures the unique wildlife and spirit of Australia. Designed by Stuart Devlin, the frilled lizard stands proud, its frill extended in a classic defensive pose. This design isn't just artistic. It tells a story of nature, identity, and Australia's commitment to showcasing its native creatures to the world. Now, let's dive into the historical moment this coin was created. In 1983, Australia was well into the decimal currency system that had begun in 1966. The 2-cent coin was still a common sight in purses and wallets, used for daily transactions. But what many didn't realize at the time was that the 2-cent coin was slowly approaching the end of its era. By the early 1990s, the coin would be withdrawn from circulation, making each year of issue, including 1983, more collectible over time. What makes the 1983 version even more interesting is its mintage. Although the coin was produced in large quantities, a significant portion of the high-quality pieces never made it into general circulation. Many were distributed through mint sets or were simply hoarded by collectors and institutions. Because of this, finding a perfect example today can be more difficult than expected, especially one in pristine condition. This brings us to the question that everyone wants to know: how many people are actually looking to buy this coin? The answer is growing year by year. Across Australia and internationally, collectors of Queen Elizabeth II coins are on the hunt for complete year sets, and the 1983 2-cent is essential for that goal. Online coin marketplaces, auctions, and collector forums are full of people searching for this coin in high grades, proving its rising popularity. So what is the current value of the 1983 2-cent coin? While circulated examples may fetch modest amounts, uncirculated and mint condition coins have sold for as much as $1,000 to $2,000 Australian dollars, depending on their grade and luster. Those that are part of original mint packs or proof sets can fetch even higher prices when the right buyer comes along. Is its value really high compared to other 2-cent coins? Absolutely. The 1983 version is now gaining traction as one of the more desirable coins from the late period of the 2-cent series. Its combination of historical relevance, artistic beauty, and growing scarcity is pushing its price higher each year. And as more collectors enter the market, that value is expected to continue climbing. This coin is no longer being minted, and the fact that it was part of Australia's standard coinage in the 1980s gives it a nostalgic appeal. It reminds people of their childhood, their first purchases, or even their grandparents' coin jars. That emotional connection enhances its collectible status. It's not just a coin, it's a memory captured in bronze. One of the most exciting things about the 1983 2-cent coin is its future potential. With demand growing and pristine examples becoming harder to find, it's not unrealistic to predict that values could double or even triple in the next decade. Investors and collectors alike are watching this coin closely as it quietly rises in prestige. It's important to note that coins from the Elizabeth II decimal series have global appeal. Collectors from the UK, Canada, New Zealand, and other Commonwealth nations often look to Australia for unique and visually striking coin designs. The 1983 2-cent coin, with its iconic frilled neck lizard and royal portrait, fits perfectly into that international spotlight. If you are lucky enough to own one of these coins in mint or near mint condition, you're holding on to more than just a coin. You're holding on to an opportunity. An opportunity to be part of numismatic history, to own something that's both beautiful and valuable, and to possibly make a significant return on investment in the future. And if you don't own one yet, now is the perfect time to act. As awareness grows, the availability of high-quality coins will shrink. Those who add this coin to their collection today may look back in a few years with satisfaction, knowing they made a smart, informed, and rewarding decision. So don't wait. Check your old collections, visit coin fairs, search online marketplaces, and talk to fellow collectors. The 1983 Australian 2-cent coin is climbing in value, and it deserves a place in any serious collection. Thank you for joining us today as we explored this remarkable and valuable coin. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video about coins with big potential. Keep collecting, stay curious, and remember, every coin tells a story, and the best ones are just waiting to be discovered.